Morning, everyone. Here today with Sean Williams. Doesn't need much introduction. But Sean, hey man, it's always good to have you up here in Vic Falls.
Thank you.
I know how much you love the bush and being up on the Zambezi, and you spent the last couple of days here at Victoria Falls River Lodge. How's it been?
It's been amazing, Luke. It's been, well, thanks to you guys for booking it for us. It's been stunning. It's been exactly what we've been looking for.
Magic, man. I'm sure Roddy will be very chuffed to hear that. And tell us on the way you stopped over in Wangi National Park. Confirm, is Wangi your favorite park in Zim?
Wangi is definitely my favorite park in Zim. I did say Mana Pools before, but I think with my little one now, Wangi is just taken over. It's an unbelievable place. It sort of makes you feel, how do I explain, part of the history.
Tell us how life has changed for you since having little Charlotte come into your life.
It's been an extreme change, actually. Obviously, on the sporting side of things, it's been tough. Being away from home from her growing up and missing those small little key moments of the first steps, first words, things like that are, I guess, part of the sacrifice that we have to make. But all in all, it's been a fantastic change. I did say extreme, but extreme on the sporting side, but when I'm around them, my family, it's an unbelievable experience, especially here in the bush with them.
We've been lucky to spend some time with you and Sean's the last few days, and seeing little Charlotte take some first few steps, which is always a bit nerve-wracking when you're around the river like this, but you guys seem to have managed.
Yeah, it's been good. I think look, the lodge we're staying in is unbelievable service for us. For example, they give us room service and stuff in the bush. I mean, it's, what more can you ask for? It's like, it's special treatment, and it's something that we're extremely grateful for.
Magic, man. Now, Sean, you grew up in Bullies, Bulawayo, and you must have spent a lot of time out in Matoba Hills or Matopus. Is that also a favorite, or is that a bit too close to Bulawayo? That's why I like Wangi so much.
No, I think it's perfect for me. I think having Matopus on my doorstep is something that we love. We cherish that. We travel to Matopus weekly, funny enough. You probably won't see us because we got a little secret spot where we drive up the rock, and we go and relax there as a family with our braai, a couple of drinks, enjoy the sunsets. It's a bit too far to go early in the morning for the sunrises, but it's something on the cards now with the little Charlotte. But yeah, it's an amazing place, and it's a place I got engaged, so we keep visiting.
Magic. Sean, going into a little bit about you as a sportsman, obviously a phenomenal sports person, and you've done incredibly well for Zimbabwe on the cricketing front. But I know that there must have been a time in your life where you were trying to consider like what sport you were going to follow, because I know you're a pretty prolific hockey player as well. So when did that all sort of the decision have to be made? How did it come about?
It was tough because obviously with my mom and dad, I grew up on the hockey pitch. So did my whole family. Whereas once I got to senior school at Falcon, I started to excel in cricket, in particular my bowling, funny enough, and I got selected for the under-19 tour to go to the World Cup, and that kind of changed things, as already there had been a little bit of some stress in the hockey prior to my decision going to cricket. I was quite young. I got selected in the national side, and we were going to go on a tour to All Africa Games actually in Nigeria. I think I was 16, so it was very young for me, and I don't know whether it was too much too soon for me in that specific sport, but cricket, I realized that there was a career involved for me, and not only that, I could play at home and live in Zimbabwe and make a living and have a family here and do what I'm doing right now as we speak. So that's the reason why I chose cricket. Not only that, I love playing competitive sports, particularly for my country. I think it's the ultimate, playing test cricket. So yeah, that's the reason why I chose cricket.
I mean, you've always been talented, of course, but I think for me, watching you, and we've known each other for a while now, but your grit and determination for the sport, and particularly now with you being captain across all the formats of the game, it's like you're a guy that seems to love pressure. Is that true?
That is true.
Yeah.
I do like it. Especially if you make me angry, it's a big problem. I seem to feed off that kind of stuff too. I want to excel when that happens to me. It is nice. It's difficult. It's not easy. Mentally, it's extremely tough. Especially now, COVID times, like we were discussing earlier, the bio bubbles that you have to do, the time away from families, the things you miss with your youngsters growing up. Not only that, I mean, you just miss, in general, family times, friends times, small moments in small little, like, how do I explain it? When someone does well in their life, you're not there to acknowledge that for them. You can acknowledge it from far, but you're not there to physically witness it. So that gets extremely tough. And then still dealing with the pressures on the field and the performance that comes with that. You have a job to do, and it's take it or leave it sort of thing. So, but yeah, I like it. I think it's an extremely good feeling when you do well for Zimbabwe, considering what you've come through. There's been some difficult times, so the teammates that do well, I give them huge respect to do well under the circumstances that they've gone through. So yeah, the captaincy role is extremely tough. It's not easy. It's very busy off the field as well as on the field, and then you still got to find time for yourself in between. But I love it. I think it's, if you can lead a Zimbabwe team to something great here, you're not going to change just that team's life. You're going to keep doors open for the kids coming through. So like I said, I chose Zimbabwe cricket as a career so I could stay at home, and it's proved to be a correct choice for me. So hopefully some youngsters can do the same.
Yeah, Sean, well done, and just thanks from all of us cricket lovers for giving us so much hope with some cricket, because there are times where guys feel like, are we still going to be able to compete at those high levels? And seeing you on the field leading the team and leading by example and scoring centuries and against some of the toughest attacks in the world is pretty amazing to see. So we're hoping that you're going to be. I know you've currently got an injury.
Yeah.
How's that looking? Are you going to be okay?
Yeah, I think after this holiday I'll be 100% fine. This holiday is what I needed. But yeah, I think a nice little strength and conditioning break now for me is something that's needed. And then get back into the Bangladesh tour fully fit, and not only fully fit, stronger, faster, more ready on the mental side than ever. So it's a tough tour, but again, we're playing at home, so looking forward to it.
And at the end of the day, I mean, we'd like you to be playing cricket forever, but you're a human being, and at some stage you're going to have to potentially hang up the boots, but hopefully that's not too soon. But when you do, what's your sort of thoughts? What do you want to get into? Do you want to stay in the sport, or do you want to move out of that completely? Or?
It's a good question, to be honest with you. I'm sort of at that stage where I don't know whether I just need to have a bit of a break for my first year out of cricket and just relax, but at the same time I don't know if I can sit still. I'm too in love with the bush, to be honest with you. The Zimbabwean bush is a passion of mine. I love it. Every time I'm home I will be either up in Wangi or up in the Falls. So I think there's something potentially heading into that direction may be an option, especially with my daughter. I think bringing her up in the wild in Zimbabwe is something, it's an extremely unique upbringing, and for me it's an amazing upbringing. So that's sort of what I'd like to do. But not only that, my wife has got her little business going at the moment, or starting up, so you never know, I might be helping out there for a little bit. But personally I'll be leaning towards a Zimbabwean bush.
Yeah, well, that's music to our ears, because I know we've been chatting a lot about conservation, and I think at a time like this in the world, but in Zimbabwe as well, wild areas coming more and more under threat, and so having someone of your stature and name behind you coming into that, I think would be a great thing. And maybe if there was an opportunity for you to marry the two, sport and conservation, I don't know, we've spoken about this before, but that could be on the cards.
Definitely, most definitely. I think once the COVID restrictions and everything sort of die down, hopefully they do, everything will start filtering in. All, like, for example, the grassroots cricket, which we've got going at the moment, down in Tawanda in Australia, along with many other people, are sending a lot of stuff through for grassroots cricket. So if we can marry the two together, have conservation through sport, like what you guys have done, I think that would be a fantastic thing for not only for us, but for the kids and for the country in as a whole. It definitely reaches out to the underprivileged, and it focuses on numbers as well. So I think, having all those people having that opportunity to play the sport and to learn about conservation and learn about what's going on around them, and in their own country, I think is an extremely important thing.
Sean, just coming back to the cricket field, just to give some of the viewers here a little bit more insight as to what goes through the players' minds, and both from a serious point of view, but also from a humor point of view. If you don't mind, it's a bit of a cliche question, but what's been probably, if you could single out the toughest thing or the toughest time that you've had whilst being on the field, in a situation, whatever it might be, and then we'll go on to the lighter side after that.
One of the toughest times I've ever had on a cricket field was probably, it was against Pakistan in a one-day game.
Was this a recent series?
It was quite a while back in 2013. We actually won the game, but I would take it down as one of my best innings that I've ever played. But I've never felt more scared and more alone than I did that day.
Was that in Pakistan?
It was in Harare. We managed to win the game by 7 wickets. Funny enough, Hamilton played really well, Brendan played really well, but we got into a situation where it was really tight, and there was Mohammed Irfan, I can't remember, there was Hafiz, there was Saeed Ajmal, who's renowned worldwide. I mean, he was an exceptional spin bowler. He had overs to bowl. Junaid Khan was there, and we needed a certain amount of runs and over. I can't remember how many, but flip, I was scared, and I remember seeing the ball, and I remember chopping the ball onto the stumps. It actually chopped onto my leg stump and bounced went for four. And I was just nervous. I've never been so stuck in a shell, not being able to think before.
So just to clarify, so the ball went down, didn't actually hit the stump?
It hit the stump.
Oh, I see.
It hit
but
the
bails
stump.
came
the
off.
bell didn't fall off.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was lucky, and that was early on in my innings. But then, I just couldn't think. I could not think. And that pressure moment was there. It wouldn't go away. Couldn't think. I couldn't breathe. But I ended up I don't know what happened. Brendan, I think, came to me and said something to me, and all of a sudden everything just clicked. So it's a bit of both, bit of on the greater side and on the tougher side, but that's probably my toughest moment I've had in the cricket arena.
Amazing how a particular moment like that can stand out for you over so many years. Thanks for sharing that with us. And so, like, people are always interested, like, what goes on behind the scenes, like what sort of antics goes on between the players. And obviously when you're out on the field, there are probably some light-hearted moments, but there's also, it's serious now, you're playing for your country. But when you get off the field, you can't be all serious all the time.
No.
So what sort of do guys play games on each other, or what kind of happens? If you can give us a bit of an insight into the
There's a lot of things that happen. Like, I'm going to use Ryan Burl as an example. He obviously is a junior in the side, but he came into the change and played really well, smashed Shakib for I think 32 in the over. Walks into the change room afterwards, gets called for an interview. There's a couple of our senior players sitting along the side.
This is Shakib Al-Hassan,
yes,
Bangladesh.
Shakib, number one all-rounder in the world. He's just beaten him. And it was fantastic. We were chuffed. I think we had actually won the game, or we had got close. And then he turns around to the senior players and says, to Craig Irvin, and says, please will you just tell Alighty to pack my bag for me? And we were like, what? Did we just hear that correctly? No, well, you take it to another level. You tape his back to the ceiling, and you put his pads in the shower, and can get nasty.
Sounds absolute human. Now, there are a couple of sort of younger guys, or maybe not so young, but they seem to be breaking into the side at the moment. Tell us if you can. If you can't, no worries. But watching from the spectator point of view, a couple of names that coming out for me: young Wesley Madevere and Luke Jongwe in the last couple of games looks to be someone for the future. I mean, would you agree that's what we're seeing from our side? And
Definitely, I agree with you. I think Wesley is a step above the rest. I think he's an exceptional cricket player. I think now it's going to be up to him as an individual. I think how to manage, up to him and to our management and us senior players on how to manage him and build him from now until he takes over, because we obviously not going to be around that much longer. So he's an extremely important piece of the puzzle for us at Zimbabwe cricket. So managing him is going to be key. And then Luke is a phenomenal cricket player. His cricketing brain is a hell of a lot better than what people think it is. I think he himself may not realize just yet. I think once he matures a little bit more as a cricketer, is given more exposure, I think you'll see great things from him. I think he stands the chance of potentially taking the T20 world by storm. He's not fast. He's not that super pace when he's bowling, but he's clever. And it's something we need in sports. And he's sneaky. I like that about him. And he brings character into the change room as well. And you always got to have that one guy that brings the laughing and the fun in the games and that, and still does exceptionally well on the field. So, and he's that guy. So he's an extremely valuable asset to the team. I think both of them are. And then not only him, you get little Milton Shumba as well.
Okay.
He's also phenomenal. I think on the red ball side, he brings major value. Again, exposure will take him forward. I think obviously those are the guys that will sort of be batting Brendan, Craig's, my sort of place, and Raz's place. So yeah, I think they're huge for us. They're huge for us. If we just manage them and look after them well, I think they'll be the next best thing.
It's fantastic to hear. There's a future.
Definitely.
Because obviously, at the moment, yourself, Craig, Raza, guys are sort of household names in the team. But as you said earlier, guys are coming towards maybe the last 3, 4, 5 years of careers in the national side, and so these youngsters coming through is where it's at.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to hear about that. Shona, I mean, we could talk for days. I always love talking to you, and I know you've got to get on. You've got a bit more holiday to enjoy.
I do.
And your wife won't be happy with me if I hold you here for too long. But thanks very much for spending time with me here in such a beautiful spot.
It's a pleasure.
We've got that croc just sunning itself. I don't know if you can see it just down there. But yeah, one thing that last thing I wanted to mention was it was great to see on your guys' playing kit the Visit Zimbabwe logo on there, and it's so important that our national teams take out to the rest of the world and tell them how beautiful our country is, because we've struggled with perceptions in this country, and I'm sure you guys are quite happy and wear that proudly.
Yeah, we do. We wear it everywhere we go, funny enough. We travel with it, we train with it. It's always on, which is, our team takes very seriously. We're ambassadors of the country. Not only that, now it's amazing things. ZBC have started recording our games and stuff live. So for us, it's huge. And I personally, as the captain, I take it very seriously, because now we have those grassroots cricket kids able to watch us.
Yeah.
Those people that couldn't afford to come to the games and stuff to watch us live can now actually watch us.
Yeah.
So, hopefully we're creating dreams, building dreams, or somehow making a stepping stone for these kids to follow us. But yeah, it's
inspiring them. That's what you guys are doing, and at the same time being ambassadors for our country.
Yeah.
Sean, thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure as
Thank you
always,
very much.
and good luck.
Thanks for having us.
As the next series, Bangladesh, comes up.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Happy. that
You're
good?
right with that.
Yeah, of course.
If you like this episode and don't want to miss out on other ones, please go to YouTube, look for Luke Brown Zim, and hit the subscribe button. Thanks.